Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group, coming to you with a couples episode on Saturday with my co-host that brings the most motherfucking realness to the show, Miss Angela Hiley.
Oh, that was so sweet of you.
So how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
We're doing good, man. We were just out on the hunt. We were trying to pick up some of these shoes called Yeezys. I don't know if y'all know what them shoes are, but they sell for like a couple $100 if you can actually get them before they're sold out.
Get them in your hands.
But what happens is they sell out and the price goes way up. They're a pretty cool looking pair of shoes. But everywhere I went, not only did they not have my size shoes in Yeezys, but they did not have my size shoes in anything else. And I don't like that bullshit where they're like, you're going to fucking order it for me. Like, nah, bro, I'm flying to Dallas on Wednesday, man. You ain't going to order me no shoes. I'm going to go find me some shoes.
I'm going to go find me some shoes.
But you know what? Kanye West with the Yeezy shoes, I mean, there's a big marketing lesson there.
Of course. But the thing is, though, is I find it odd how you really want a pair of these, but you're really not his biggest fan.
I would not say I mean, I like some of his music. I think some of it's just weird. I mean, I like the stuff that you listen to with Kanye West, but I couldn't like kick on. Like I can throw in a 50 Cent album.
Yeah.
You know, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah.
I could throw on that album and listen to it from the very first song to the very last song and not even skip a beat. But I could not do that with any Kanye West album. I can throw in Dr. Dre The Chronic.
Yes.
Song number 1 and listen to it all the way through.
I think what it is I think Kanye West is very unique, and I think I honestly feel that there's a certain group of people that really gets him. And I feel in our household that I'm probably the one that gets him the most.
Yeah.
Out of everybody.
Yeah. That's because you're special.
Don't fucking say that shit. Listen, I remember like back in the day, this one gal that I was like friends with, like she looked at me and she's like, "Oh," she's like, "You're my special friend." I got offended by that.
If anybody ever tells me that I'm their special friend, I'm going to punch them in the fucking face.
No, I mean, there was that one time I shared the photo of you where you like, it was a Snapchat photo that you look like a woman, and I think like Catherine might have asked something, and I was just like, "Oh, he's special," but I didn't like meet it in that way. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm your wife, though. I can just
special.
I can say whatever I need to say.
So special. She told me that I'm special. Wow. But you know, honestly, think about that though. These Yeezys, from my understanding, like you can't even get them because they've got people that have robots that will buy them online. Now, if you go to the store, you've got to get there super early. There's people that will literally wait in line to buy a pair of Yeezys, and they'll buy them for a couple $100, and they'll do one or two things. They'll walk right across, like at the Dayton Mall where we just came from. There's a shoe store across from another shoe store. So there's like a new shoe store, and then there's a shoe store that will sell like used or even new shoes that have been traded in.
Yeah.
And people will just buy them at the one shoe store, walk across to the other shoe store, make $100 profit off a pair of the shoes, sell them, and then that shoe store will mark it up by like another $100.
Yeah. So like back in the day when Jonathan was younger, I was like the most awesomest mother any child that was into tennis shoes. Like I was the most awesomest mother when it
How
came.
many pairs of shoes he got?
I don't know, but listen, I pretty much anytime Jonathan wanted a new type of Jordan that was coming out, like Jordans that came out like from like way back in the day, like I pretty much was able to get my hands on them. There might have only been a couple times to where I couldn't get them. But I remember one time there was a certain pair of Jordans that he wanted. And I mean, he wanted them so, so bad. And I ordered them, and the order went through and everything of that nature. Kept checking back with them and stuff like that. Well, here, the order ended up canceling because they ran out. But I had spoke with a manager, and she actually overnighted a pair. And when they came and Jonathan got them, like, he was so fucking happy. He had like tears coming out of his eyes. So I was the mother that was able to get him like all the awesome and amazing Jordans. Like he's got a pair that we bought him for Christmas, and he's had them for like a couple years. Paid about $300, and they are worth $1,000 now. And the kid's only worn them once.
So everybody probably thinks he's spoiled, but here's what we did with him. I'm going to tell you guys, this is one of my best parenting tips. I know there's a lot of parents out there that listen to this podcast.
And there ain't nothing wrong with this.
What we did was we bribed him since he was a little kid to stay out of trouble and to get good grades.
Yep.
So we literally told him, like, man, you get good grades, you're going to get this. You stay out of trouble, you're going to get this. And we have not had, there's, what's John, he's going on 20 years old now. So he'll be 20 years old next year. He's 19 now.
Yeah.
But, he's 19 going on 20. And we have never had the cops come knocking at our door.
No.
We've never had another parent. We've there's been some occasional things where we've had some things, little things with some teachers. Times. But it's been very, very
rare.
Minor.
Yeah.
It's never been because he had an attitude. It's never been because he was acting like a little punk. He's been a solid, good kid, and I contribute part of that to just to bribing him or like carrot sticking him, if you will. Like
there's nothing wrong with that.
Hell no.
No, because in all honesty, that's the way the world is. If you honestly think about it.
I'll tell you another thing we did. So we let him play Grand Theft Auto when he was a little kid.
Oh my.
And here's my thing about that. People would almost say that that's the most worst thing that you could possibly do. But I'm here to tell you guys, I think sheltering your kids from shit is way fucking worse.
Yeah.
Way, way worse.
Yeah.
Because what happens, man, anything that you shelter your children from, they're going to want to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
As a marketer, I understand this. Like, I understand it. There's a desire around things that people keep away from you, if that makes sense,
Well, I think
or things that you can't have. Like, let's just think about this. Let's think of like how many dudes out there right now desire a Lamborghini or desire this jacked up monster truck, right? Or desire, this specific
you had
house.
One of them or jacked up monster trucks.
Yeah. Or desire some sort of lifestyle, right? And it's something that they can't have right now, but they sit back and they think about it and they desire it. And I think kids, when growing up, they hear that, their friends got this and that, and their parents sheltered them from it. They just desire these things that their friends are out there doing. They're telling them about it.
Well, I think another thing is growing up as a kid, I always thought that my parents were perfect, that they could do no wrong, that they had the answers for everything, that when you became an adult, like one day it just like clicked and you knew it all. And I think that with growing up, I love my parents to death, don't get me wrong, but they were never honest with me. They were never real with me. And I think I always told myself that when I was going to be a parent, that I was going to be 100% honest with my child, whether it was good or whether it was bad, because I didn't want him to look at me and to have all these expectations. And then he ends up growing up and he's looking at me and he's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I looked at it with like some of my family members. I always really looked up to them as a child, as a young kid. And then when I became an adult, I'm like, why the fuck did I even look up to these people for? Like they weren't like, it was some type of an illusion or something that like, they just, in all honesty, it's just best to be honest with your kids. And be 100% real with them, whether it's the good and the bad or the ugly.
Well, the whole thing about the Grand Theft Auto thing, stepping back to that, I mean, I figure like if he fucks his life up digitally, like on a digital basis several times, he's going to realize like how bad it's like, wow, I remember that time I was on Grand Theft Auto. I smoked crack and then I beat somebody with a dildo and then I went to jail.
Oh
that
my
was
God.
horrible. I lost all my money. I lost all my cars. It ruined my life, man. Ruined my life. I don't ever want to do that again. Man, I had 5 stars on my ass. They was sending out the military. You guys know what I'm talking about. And you guys who play Grand Theft Auto, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I remember.
It was so funny, though, when he was a kid. Don't you remember when he, I think he was like 5 years old and we were going through, we were in downtown and downtown Piqua where we used to live and, which is a little town in Ohio, little, white trash town. So we're driving through town, and he sees a police officer. He's like, "Dad, a cop," And I'm like, "No, buddy, don't worry, man. We don't have any stars on us right now." Oh man,
if any
it
of
worked
y'all
out really good for us. I'm
if
just
any
saying.
of y'all will ever meet Jonathan, or if you have met Jonathan, you're blown away
You guys
by
will know what I'm talking
the
about.
type of young adult that he is.
I can't believe I haven't been punished because the type of kid that I was, man, it's like I deserve some sort of punishment that I had never received in return. I was so
Then I was so
bad.
Then I was supposed to be punished too.
Well, I mean,
no.
I'm just saying, the type of kid that I was, I mean, I was just into everything you could possibly imagine, like the exact opposite of Jonathan.
Yeah, but I think what it was is you were honest with him about the stuff that you got into and then the repercussions of it.
I was like drinking and partying when I was 12.
That's just not for John. Jonathan's done some of that stuff, but I honestly think it's because we've been so honest with him about our life stories.
I remember the first time me and my buddies went out and smoked weed together. There was like this playground up at the top of it was called Fountain Park.
Yeah.
And up there they had like this fake metal truck.
Yeah.
It was like almost like a you guys remember like
something you can play on or something?
Yeah, you guys remember
that?
like a jungle gym?
Yeah.
Well, they built like a jungle gym that was like a full-size truck. I mean, it had like where you could climb up on top of it. It had a truck bed back in the back. Mm-hmm. And I just remember smoking weed with all my buddies up there and just thinking we was driving all around town, man. We had a driver. We had people in the back of the truck. We're like 10, 11 years old, man. We were having a fucking hell of a time.
Oh, wow.
We were like...
Did you get the mad munches?
No, do you remember the movie Half Baked?
Yes, John.
And the very first time they smoked weed?
Yeah.
How
they went
they're like, we're
store.
all like, man, we don't even feel it.
We ain't high.
We were just like them kids. I mean, we were high as hell.
Yeah.
Some people say the first time they smoked weed, they didn't feel it. We were high, like really, really high.
I rember when Jonathan...
we were laughing and joking and thinking we were driving this fake truck all over the place.
Yeah, I remember Jonathan, he got in trouble one time But anyways, he smoked a bunch of weed or whatnot for the very first time with a group of kids. And he sat down and it started wigging him out because he was just like, my mom is going to be so disappointed in me. My mom is going to be so disappointed. She's going to think I'm a loser.
Well, probably 2 years ago, didn't you find weed in his closet? And this
yes.
and she came to me and she's like, John, I found weed in John's closet. And I just looked at her like, what are you really going to do? Put it back.
Well, I just said,
put it back. You know what I mean?
I wasn't going to scold him.
As a parent, what are you really going to do? It's like, am I supposed to be mad that he's got marijuana at the age of he was probably 17 at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time we caught him with it, he was 17. And I'm just like, and then I look at it and I'm like, damn, that's actually some pretty good shit.
I know I should have jacked it from him, but don't you remember how you were like,
I told him
you were going to make him smoke it all
the whole bag
in front of us?
Yeah. That's what you do as a parent. You know what I mean? You're like,
I know. I don't want to do that
you boys,
to him.
You guys are going to smoke the whole bag.
No, I don't want to do that to him. That's just wrong.
That's probably back when cops were cool, Like if a cop pulled you over and found a big old, a half ounce of weed in your pocket.
Oh, my God.
He'd say, all right, boys, start rolling. You're smoking the whole bag. Come on.
No.
That is fucking awesome. That is awesome. Why can't...
Can you imagine what
You'd learn a lesson.
You probably never smoke weed again.
Yeah.
You'd learn a lesson. Be so fucking wigged out.
Yeah.
Smoking all that weed
and
in front of a cop?
like take you to the station and make you do it in front of a bunch of cops and like let them all just watch you.
Oh, dear Lord. That would be a life lesson. I mean, in all honesty, instead of arresting them and stuff like that, that would really...
Yeah, there's a dude at my tattoo studio that we go to that is about to be an ex-Dayton cop, and there's some cops that are leaving the force, with all the shit that's happening with the whole... riots and all that shit, and like the pretty much the city's just not giving a fuck. So some of the cops don't feel appreciated, so they're leaving the force. And he was cool as hell, man. He's like a really cool dude, and he was telling me about his one buddy who left the force, and he's like, yeah, man, he left the force and he took up smoking weed again. And
I don't blame him at all.
You guys know, like, I'm not real. Like, you guys listen to me say this. I'm not a big weed smoker at all.
No, because John feels like he talks through his nose.
It makes me feel fucking weird, and I don't drink. You guys know that. It's been a couple years since I've had a drink. Going on a couple years. Actually,
be 2 years in January.
We're in January, so in like 10 days it'll be 2 years. Yeah, but
I think it'd be a little bit longer.
Something like that.
So,
but I don't like, I think the last time that I smoked weed was probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
It probably would have been about a year ago.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't know, man. Maybe some people enjoy it. It makes me feel fucking like it's killing my brain cells. Number one, like the next day, I just don't feel as sharp as I should. And while I'm doing it, I don't really enjoy it. I mean, I guess I can get a couple good laughs, but half the time I just feel like, why the fuck did I just do that?
I love it.
Yeah, she loves it.
I love it.
Yeah, she loves it.
Hey, if any of y'all want to get high with me, just holler my way.
Yeah, she'll smoke some weed with you, man.
We get high.
That's some good shit, too.
We get high, and we'll laugh, and we'll just we'll have a good time. It'll be a very good bonding moment.
Yeah.
Bonding time. But since this is a couples podcast, what's this couples advice we're going to be giving out? What are we going to be dishing out today?
We just gave out some pretty dope parenting advice. And then we pretty much just told everybody to let your kids play Grand Theft Auto. We told them to, like, if you catch your kids with weed, just let them keep it. Or make them smoke the whole bag.
Oh, dear Lord.
That's some good advice, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and bribe your children.
That's true. Should we talk about do you want to talk about that?
Go ahead.
So, anyways, okay, I'm going to give you all some advice, a little bit of advice, because John is kind of like so guilty. Like, I love this man. I really love him. And he's hilarious. And he makes me laugh. And he loves to make fun of me. And the majority, I can take a lot of it. But sometimes I'm just like, can you please let up?
I'm pretty relentless on talking shit to her all the time.
I know. And it's like in front of like anybody and everybody. And sometimes I want to look at him and I just want to be like, can you please shut the fuck up? But I don't want to say it like that, because then people are going to be like, damn, she's like really pissed and now it's awkward and it's the awkward moment. And, is she going to like beat his ass or something? But I'm just like, listen, I do not want to be the butt of your jokes all the time. I think that's the thing. So a few weeks ago.
I think she's just being a little sensitive.
No, I have some pretty thick skin being with a man named John Hiley. Yeah, I got some pretty thick skin. But a couple weeks ago, I go to my med spa, and I have, for the last, 3 years, I've gotten stuff put in my face, whether it's been Botox or fillers. And majority of the people cannot tell that I get that done, because the doctor that I go see, he makes me look natural. Well, I thought, my lips, I have some pretty normal sized lips, I would say, but I just wanted I wanted like a little bit.
Man, women always be just pumping shit in their face. She came back looking like a mixture of Shanae, and then Felicia, because she had bruises on her lips, looked like she'd been smoking a crack pipe.
Well, that was after a few days. So I had went in to see Dr. Sessler, and I was like extremely nervous about this, because I was like, oh, I don't know. And he's just like, oh, he's like, but you have all these tattoos all over you. What are you talking about being nervous about getting some like lip filler? And I'm like, I do not want these things to be huge. I just want just like a little plumpiness and that's it. And after he got done and I seen how big they like the lips that I have now, they're a little full, but that's it.
That's why I told her that she
they
was
look
like
normal, but they look a little.
When she came back there, she was driving a dually, and then it became like a regular size truck.
Oh my god!
And now they're down to like getting close to normal size again.
So they were like double the size of my lips now. They
were like double I beat her ass or something. Like we go places, people be like,
I don't know.
You must beat your wife. Either that or she was smoking a hot crack pipe.
Shut up. But like when he got done with them, I was like, they were beautiful. They were big, luscious, full lips, you know. But I'm like, I was thinking, I'm like, man, I don't know if I like this or not. And he's like, well, the swelling will go down, the bruises will go away. And that shit's painful. Like, they put numbing stuff, but when you get stuff like injected into your lips, like that fucking hurts. Like it does.
Fuck that shit.
It's worse than getting a tattoo.
She should have talked to me because I would tell her never to do that.
I did. I told you that I was going to get some lip filler, and you're like, oh, okay, that's fine, you know.
I probably wasn't listening to exactly what you were saying.
So when I came home, I looked at these things, and Dr. Susser was like, oh, your husband's not going to even notice. I'm like, he's going to fucking notice these lips because they're double their size.
Damn!
I was like, please be kind. Please be kind. This was like a couple days before Christmas.
I told her I could like take one of them skateboards and nose grind on them bad boys.
They were ginormous. And John just kept like drilling me with these like fun. Okay, it was funny, but it got to the point to where it's like, listen, I've already realized that I should not have done this to my lips, and I don't want to do this again because one, it was painful. Two, these lips are like ginormous, and it's going to take 4 to 6 months for them to go back to normal. I was like freaking out. I was crying inside. And then what was it? I think it was like Christmas night. We were like laying in bed, and he's like, honey, listen, you don't need to be putting that stuff in your lips because you're like naturally, you know, you're a natural beauty. And I just started crying, and I'm just like, I'm never doing this again. But they have went down to where they look normal. They're just a little full. So, but I'm never doing that again. I mean, I'm glad that I tried it and got it out of my system, but I do not need that. It's painful. The bruises are horrible. In the very beginning, you're just like,
I could use one of them Brazilian butt lifts.
You know what? I don't even understand. Like, he didn't even put that much in my lips. But you see a lot of these women out there, like they have like ginormous lips. And I'm like, how much fucking filler is in them things?
Mm-hmm. See, I've always had like a love handle problem. I mean, like no matter how thin and how, I mean, even there was times in my youth that I got fucking like pretty close to being shredded, man. Like there was times in my youth where I was very, very close to being shredded. And I looked down and I still got baby fat pooch on my love handles. So I was considering having them motherfuckers vacuumed out and then have them stick them on my ass.
I know John's such a big guy, but he has like a little butt.
You know, and there's any of you guys who have, any of you men out there who have little butts, you can relate to me. It's almost like it doesn't matter how tight your belt is. Your pants are always falling off.
I know John bends over and like all you see is all underwear and then like probably a couple inches of crack. I'll tell you one thing you
can never say about me, that I got tiny calves.
No,
I got natural calves like the size of people's like, watermelons.
I think your calves are about almost the size of my head.
I actually had a dude one time that was, he was in one of our old businesses and he was walking in behind me and I think we were getting ready to settle up and he was going to pay me, whatever. And he looked down and he asked me if they were real.
Because you can get implants.
Yeah, because apparently you can get implants.
Yeah, and men do
which are probably the butt implants I need. Any of you men, I think there's a lot of men out there that lack an ass.
I would say so.
And all of you men know that we're always pulling up our fucking pants.
Yeah, that's true.
Always pulling up our fucking pants because there ain't nothing there to fucking keep them up.
Yeah, that's
It's like
true.
a damn, it's like we're triangles. You pull your pants up, they get stuck around the top of that triangle, and they're just going to fucking fall right off.
So you're like an upside down triangle.
Yeah, I'm like an upside down triangle.
That is. That's the way your body is shaped. You're an upside down triangle. And somebody be like, so what shape are you? I am a triangle.
And it's just like, the pants are always rolling downhill. Nothing you can do about it. I can't even tell you how many times my butt crack's showing.
All the time. It's either the butt crack or John is notorious, like his zipper's always down. I'm like, oh my God, that time when we were in the Verizon store. Oh my God. We went into the Verizon store to get new phones. And so we're all in there. And the one gentleman is like leaning over the desk and he's trying to do something with these phones, and like the top of the desk was kind of like level to where John's crotch was, and he's kind of doing this like moving back.
They had some music going on in there. So, I was kind of like shaking and grooving.
You're like moving back and forth. And I look over and I'm like, holy fucking shit. I'm like, his zipper's down. And I'm like, it's right eye level with this guy too. And I was like, zip that thing up.
Well, horse is always trying to come out of the barn. What can I say?
Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. So I guess my advice is if you're a funny husband, which John is extremely funny, sometimes cracking jokes can, be a little hurtful sometimes too.
Hell nah.
Yes, they can. When it came to my lips.
Hell nah.
Thank God. I am so thankful that my lips do not look like the way they looked in the very beginning. Because I'm like, holy shit, we're getting ready to go to like Texas, and I'm going to be around all these Apex people. And if my lips are that big, they're going to look at me and they're going to be like, something don't look right with Angela. Like something looks a little off,
that happened to me when I was a kid and I was in junior high. And I don't know if any of you guys remember, if some of you guys may be younger, some of y'all may be older, some of you guys may be around my age. I'm 40 years, just turned 40 in November.
Just turned 40.
And she's about to be 41, so. But
I look way better.
I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, it was like kind of like in style to put like cut little notches in your eyebrows.
The lines.
Yeah, you have like couple little lines in your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to do mine, and then the razor got bumped while I was doing it, and it like took way too much off. So it wasn't like a notch; it was like a big chunk that got taken out of my eyebrow.
Yeah.
So what I did was I went over there and tried to do it to the other one to see if I could like do something to match it up, and like both of them looked fucking stupid. And then I figured, well, I'll just cut off the edge of it on this side. So I cut off the edge on one of them, and I went and cut off the edge of the other one. So the next thing you know, I had these two square eyebrows that made me look like an angry, like, you ever see the angry Chinese cartoon? Like an angry Chinese guy?
It's almost like squares. You had. It's almost like you had your eyebrows was like Adolf Hitler's mustache.
Yes, yes. So I was like an angry dude thing, and finally it got to the point where it was so laughable, like you couldn't look at my face without exploding in laughter. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to cut them off, and I shaved them off.
Did anybody see those eyebrows?
I'm sure they did.
The little square ones.
I can't remember. It was junior high. But so I had no eyebrows going into junior high.
Wow.
And it was so interesting because just like you said, people would look at you and be like, did you have anything done?
Yeah.
Like people would look at my face and be like, I can't peg. What's wrong with you? But man, what's going on, man? It's like if you ever are missing eyebrows,
yeah,
like your face just looks like a fucking shaved face of some sort. Like I can't even explain it. It looks like
your eyebrows.
It looks like you're an alien in a way.
Well, yeah, but the eyebrows, they shape your face. They give you know, your character and whatnot.
That was so horrible, like dealing with school. But luckily, I mean, I was I don't remember. I mean, I was friends with a lot of people back then, so it wasn't like a thing where.
Did you have to get your pictures taken with no eyebrows?
I don't know. If I did, I probably didn't do it.
I don't blame you.
I probably didn't do it.
No, you don't want that to be in that yearbook.
I was so bad back when I was in. I hated school, man. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I hated school. I didn't really like any of the classes at all. I wish I'd have paid more attention in English. Now that I'm a copywriter and stuff like that, I kind of had to learn that at a late age.
Yeah,
and I'm still trying to good at it, of course.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you probably took one of your posts from Facebook, let's say maybe 7 years ago.
Yeah.
7, 8 years ago to what it is now, be night and day.
Well, like I told these guys, we had a copywriting show. The one thing about my copywriting is that, to me, it looks like shit. A lot of people read it, and they say that it's very good. But the truth of the matter is it sells. It converts. Like, my copywriting sells and converts, and ultimately, if you're in the space of marketing, that's all you need. All you need is copywriting that sells. It sounds like me.
And it's genuine.
Yep. And a lot of times I don't really follow the same script a lot of copywriters follow. I just follow my own script and put it together the way that I want to put it together, deliver it the way that I want to deliver it. Now, I look at places I model. I read a lot of copywriting, so I'm sure subconsciously a lot of that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But, the fact of the matter is that it sells. It has a very high conversion rate, and really that's all you're looking for as a business owner and as a marketer, is that your copywriting sells.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, you can do it for the applause. You can do it for the likes, the hearts, whatever. In fact, we got a young lady in our group that she was asked a question probably a few months ago. And I guess a lot of times when you get salesy on a post, it'll kind of it's not going to go like a motivational post or, like something that's personal, right? Or one of the Savage 7. When you do something that's a little bit salesy, it tends to just not go over as well because people know that you're writing like a sales pitch or something like that. But the truth of the matter is, if it sells shit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And one of the girls in our group was talking about one of her sales posts that she had wrote really hadn't gotten much action. She was like really giving a fuck about the amount of people that like it and share it and comment on it. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of times I'll slide a sales post in between 2 or 3 personal posts just so when people are scrolling on my wall, they hit it.
Yeah.
Just so that they hit it, just so it's there. I mean, if you don't make offers all the time, and if you don't have the ability for people to find your offers, it doesn't really matter how many people like it. I had a post one time that I dropped that literally had 2 likes, and it made me over $6,000.
And that's all that matters.
There was 2 comments, and both the people bought a $3,000 ticket from me.
Yeah.
And would I take that post over a post that got 100 likes and didn't sell shit? All day long, baby.
But now we're not talking about couple stuff.
Yeah. How did I drift into How dare I drift into marketing like that?
How dare you do this?
This is a fucking marketing podcast too.
But you said you were bringing me on Saturdays so you could talk about couple stuff.
We've been talking about couple stuff. I don't even know how we got into this subject.
I don't know, because sometimes you just I'll start talking about something, and then John likes to butt in and talk over me. He's done this the entire time we've been together. So it's sometimes I'm just fuck it. I'm just going to butt in over him, and I'm going to take over this conversation.
Can I say one thing more about this copywriting? Just one more thing?
Sure.
Another thing that you guys can do that I think is being underutilized out there is celebrating your clients' and your customers' wins. That's one thing that people love, but on top of that, people envision themselves being a client and customer of yours and winning. So be sure that if you're doing some sales post, you'll want to celebrate some wins in between that. Then you'll want to do some personal stuff, and then you'll want to, family. There's so many things that you can post. If you guys haven't listened to my course on the Savage 7 inside of Marketing Savage University, you want to check that out, because that's kind of how you want to rotate your content.
Hey, why don't you tell everybody what you got me for Christmas?
Oh, I put 2.5 carats in my baby girl ear.
I feel like I'm almost... Okay, so John got me these earrings, and they're hoops, and they've got some mad diamonds in them. They're beautiful. They're so beautiful. And when I seen them, I'm not going to lie, I'm why did you spend all this money on me? I felt bad. I'm not going to lie. I felt bad.
This is one of the nicest gifts that I've got her in a long time. And
yeah.
There's been several years that I knew she wanted some diamonds. And I went out, me, I went out, and I realized one thing. I will tell you guys one thing. If you guys walk into a regular jewelry store and you pay whatever the sticker price is on that diamond, you're about to get majorly fucked.
Yes.
Because every single jewelry store that I walked into out there, they're super negotiable. I mean, if you walk in and there's like a $6,000 set of diamonds, like I could literally go in there and say, hey man, I'll give you $2,500 for these. and then wait to see what they come back with, you know, and oh, $2,500, I can't do that, you know, but man, let me talk to my manager. I'm telling you, like, the one thing about jewelry stores, like, dude, if you ever pay face value when you walk into them fucking places, you're going to get fucked. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, man, unless it's a jewelry store that sells on very small profit margins. But my experience shopping with jewelry is that it's very negotiable. Never pay the price they ask.
I felt like when I had them in my ears on like Christmas Day, I felt like I was.
Oh, and she walked around with them in all day long.
I felt like I was like that one song that that Biggie sings. Like that song was like stuck in my head. I'm like, I feel just like this song, like to a T.
Except he put 5 carats in his baby girl ear. I put 2.5.
Oh, I'm sure you'll put 5 in there one day.
One of these days.
Yeah, one day soon. One day soon. But I love him. I thought it was special. Like, he was even thinking about getting me a new sweeper, and I wouldn't, in all honesty, I wouldn't.
That was my first thing that I was going
to. Listen, I would not have been mad about that at all. I would not have been mad. But then he brings me these beautiful.
Well, the other thing I will tell you guys, like, I ended up buying these at Costco. And I'm just going to tell you all, that's the one place you're not going to be able to negotiate, because Costco can only sell a certain percentage above cost.
Yeah.
And I want to say it's like 13, 14% or something like that. That's their markup. And that's one of the reasons why. And I'm telling you guys right now, they got some of the nicest diamonds, and they're very fucking reasonably priced. Mm-hmm. Like, this pair of earrings would have been a lot when you walk into, of course, after you negotiate and stuff like that. You know, who knows, right? But what happened was I was going in there looking for a sweeper, and like something in the back of my head just told me, like, just go look over at the jewelry, you know, and check it out. And then I know she likes hoops, and I found these hoops with all these, not only diamonds on the front, but like diamonds on the inside.
Yeah.
So when you look at them, you just see like diamonds like blinging at you. And I seen them; they were much more than what I was going to spend on the sweeper, right? And it was just a splurge of the moment thing. And I hadn't gotten her anything like that expensive for Christmas
for a long time,
and just decided to do it.
Yeah. I think the last time that you got me something that I really wanted for Christmas was when you got me my LeBron James signed jersey.
Yeah, the LeBron James signed jersey.
And I cried my eyes out when I.
Which it's still in our. It's still in our.
It's in our bedroom.
Bedroom and museum glass.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't like LeBron's like political stance, but as a player, I mean, the dude's top notch, top, and he actually proved that again and again, and especially even this year. Coming back, he's proven it again and again. The guy's a fucking champion leader as well. I mean, he took a shit team and, you know, took them all the way to the end. And that whole debate about Stephen Curry even being close to the leader that LeBron James is it's just been proven to be completely fucking wrong.
But LeBron has played with some amazing basketball players, so he was able to learn a lot. But he's
still no Michael Jordan.
No.
He's still no Michael Jordan,
You know, that's what I would really love to get my hands on, is a Michael Jordan sign jersey.
Even a signed shoe, or shoes, or a basketball.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather have, you know, dude, Todd Sudik, dude out in California. You remember Todd, right? You remember Todd?
Maybe.
The owner of the Ding King out in California.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, he had a jersey that had shoes underneath of it, so it was framed up where it was like in like a museum glass and had the shoe box underneath of it.
Yeah.
With the signed Jordans, and he had the signed jersey up above it. Now that would be the thing to have.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, top notch. And then I don't know if you guys hadn't watched the Michael Jordan documentary. It's like 12 videos. Was it on Netflix?
It was on Netflix. They had it on I think they had it on ESPN, but then they had it on Netflix, so you could totally purge The Last Dance.
Fucking documentary, man.
That was amazing.
It was an incredible documentary, and it just shows, like, you know, the attitude of Michael Jordan. And I'll give you guys an example. So one of my coaching clients, My thing is when I coach somebody, like with one of my coaching clients, I'm going to dig down and I'm going to find out where they're going to be the most powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm going to figure out like everything they're doing. I tell them, I'm like, give me numbers on this, numbers on this. Like I make them understand exactly what it is they do on a daily basis that has the biggest fucking impact. Mm-hmm. With one of my coaching clients, I found out that he passed that to his
he passed the ball.
Crew. He passed that to his crew. He gave this one really important thing to his crew, and he gave it to him for a couple months, and he was lacking in sales. And I asked him, I'm like, well, have they done anything with it? And he's like, no, not a damn thing. And I looked at him and said, dude, Michael Jordan passes the ball one fucking time to you, and you fuck up, you don't get the ball again.
That's right.
You don't get the ball again. And one of the things that I had to like literally drill into his head is that you never come down to other people's level. You force them to come up to your level.
That's right.
And see, that's the way it is with me. That's the way it is with me. Like, I don't come down to anybody's level. If I throw the ball to you one time and you fuck that up, then I'm going to force you to come to my level. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to force you up.
Holla.
Because, and my coaching client, which now, I mean, he's just made dramatic amounts of money by implementing these strategies and completely understanding with clarity, like what it is. What is it that I can do every day, you know, over and over and over again that's going to make me the most fucking money.
Yeah.
You know, that's what has to be understood. But like I told him, I'm like, man, like you literally, if you pass the ball to your team one time and they can't take that rock to the hole, you know what I mean? Then you need to force them to come up to your level. You need to go in there and clean house. That's what fucking cleaners do. Mm-hmm. We go in and clean house. We clean the shit up that nobody else can do. You know what I mean? We step in, and this is for a lot of you guys out there listening to this, man. You think about it. You know what I mean? When you step in, you clean fucking house, right?
That's right.
You clean shit up. You know, when things go wrong, when things aren't going right, a cleaner steps in and cleans fucking house.
And that's what you do, Big Daddy.
You got what we talk about. What's his name that wrote the book? Relentless?
Tim Grover.
Yeah, Tim Grover.
One of my favorite authors.
Which he was Michael Jordan's personal coach. Mm-hmm. And he talks about that. And there's there's three types of people, right?
You have a cooler,
a closer,
and a cleaner. Yeah.
And coolers will break under pressure, but they'll normally do all right if they have guidance and you know, and you give them an exact script and everything. You know, you pretty much do everything for them. A closer can step up and they can close and they can make things happen, you know, and they can do it up, but they don't have like the intense drive that a cleaner does. When a cleaner comes in, they clean fucking house.
Yeah.
And they never stop. And they are more competitive with themselves than anything else.
Yes,
and they always seek to be the best. They always want to win. And that was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a pure fucking cleaner.
Yeah, I always tell everybody, I was like, you know, John and I always feel like in our relationship that John is Michael Jordan and then I'm Scottie Pippen. Like that's how, like, if I can compare it, like, to all my, you know, people out there that love basketball, like that's how I feel like our relationship is like you're Michael Jordan and I'm Scottie Pippen, and I'm cool with that though because I've always loved Scottie Pippen. That's how I feel like our relationship is.
So a lot of people don't realize this, like, and Tim Grover talks about this in the book, but the way Michael Jordan was, he was kind of a dick. And when they were having practice, he gave an example in the book where Michael Jordan came in from playing like 40 minutes in a game or some shit like that. Whatever. He nearly played the entire game the night before. He comes into practice and he asks where one of the bench players are. Like, where's Joe at?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's in there getting his leg iced. Michael Jordan literally went into the locker room and flipped the table over that he was sitting on, getting his leg iced, and told him to get the fuck out there.
Yeah.
That's the type of person he was, man. He expected a lot from the people around him, and he never came down to their level. He forced everybody to come up to his level.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times in business, we come down to other people's level when what we really should be doing is forcing them to step up to our level.
Yes. I agree with you there.
You know, so
100.
Anyhow, anything else you want to say? I think we're going pretty long for a Marketing Revolution podcast. Around 45 minutes.
Good. Well, I think normally on Saturdays the podcast will be longer because you have me.
Yeah, we came over here because we were going to do it at home, but like we got 2 little miniature schnauzers, and anybody who's got them, and we got an American bulldog that's like a whiny baby, and then we got 2 miniature schnauzers that are like they're lovable little dogs, but they're barky.
Yes.
So we just shot over here to the office.
The schnauzers are very, very vocal. I love their personalities and everything. Layla, our American bulldog, I love her to death, but I'm just like, that's just not my breed. Like, I love her, but she's so like,
oh, she's such a baby. Oh my God.
Like
she's just crying.
She can never be, she's never satisfied.
Yeah. Anything you could imagine, like it's a little too cold or it's a little too hot, or you're
not giving me enough human food. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Like,
we just decided that we're going to order her a pizza when we go out. She's like, so she's like 90 pounds or 85, between 85 and 95 pounds, depending on what type of year it is.
She's heavier in the winter and thinner in the summer.
She looks like, if you guys don't know what American Bulldog is, she looks like a giant pit bull. And she's really strong. I mean, she is.
And she's intelligent. She's
muscles.
Smart. She's smart, but she's stupid.
She's not the tiny bulldog. Like most people envision her being the tiny bulldog, but she's like the size of like a Labrador or something, or like a bigger version, a big muscular version of a pit bull with like a giant head on her.
That girl's got some muscles.
Yeah,
like,
and she's incredibly.
The dog can fucking eat and eat.
She's a hunter.
Eat. Yeah,
and
not hardly gain any weight.
We would literally look out there and be like, she would chase a squirrel up one of our trees.
A raccoon.
And a raccoon up one of the trees. And we'd be like, okay, stupid. And then we go out there like 2 hours later and the thing's dead. Like, she's a fucking killer, man.
I don't know if she's like playing mind games.
But she's a sweetheart to anybody else, like to people. And it's debatable whether she would protect the yard. I mean, to be honest with you.
I think she would, like, if I was out there. I think if she was out there by herself, I don't know. I don't know.
Because there was a time we used to have a solid wood fence, and then I replaced it. And there was a time when I ran up with I think I put like a ski mask on and was like playing it like I was like an intruder, and I was like knocking on the fence and like yelling shit at her. She literally took off running and went to the other side of the yard and stood with her butt on the furthest point of the other side of the yard, barking, touching her butt on the opposite side of the fence across. She was literally like 50 feet away from me, barking at me. And
she's a hot mess.
Yeah.
But we love her, though.
But she doesn't bark at anybody when they walk by or when they bring their dogs by, or, she doesn't do anything like that. She's laid back.
Yeah.
She's a good dog. I had to take her through all kinds of fucking training.
Yeah. She's a lovable turd.
Yep. So anyhow, y'all, that is it for tonight's show.
Yes, it is.
And would you like to say anything else? Say bye-bye.
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 I'll say what I normally say on the other podcast. It's all about the motherfucking hustle.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on that next one.